It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey there, good morning to you on Monday. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. It was a little rough weather-wise, I know, but hope you made it just the same, and we got some news to talk about. We'll start with that.
Yeah, speaking of the weather, Springfield-based Convoy of Hope continues to respond to the tornadoes that hit in St. Louis and Kentucky over the weekend. Those storms took the lives of at least 28 people. 5 of those were in St. Louis. It also destroyed about 5,000 buildings, homes, businesses around the St. Louis area, structures, I should say, and also knocked out power for thousands of people. Convoy's disaster response teams have been delivering food and water, along with tarps and hygiene kits, necessary supplies to the survivors. That'll continue, I guess, at least throughout this week, maybe beyond that. You can follow the response on all of Convoy of Hope's social media channels. And that's where you spent some of your weekend.
Yeah, I was up in St. Louis with Convoy of Hope, and it was a mess. Our teams have been up there. They're continuing to send supplies and down to Kentucky as well, and we'll see where else as it's needed, because the weather's going to be rough. A possibility of rough weather kind of all this week.
Yeah. The price of everything, meanwhile, is up, and that is changing things for hunting permits and fishing permits. There will be significant increases, very likely, to non-resident deer and turkey hunting permits, as well as new non-resident migratory bird permits. That will cost you around $60 as proposed, and a new non-resident trout permit will likely be $40. The Missouri Department of Conservation says they need to, quote, keep the pace with continually rising cost of goods and services.
Yeah, everybody's keeping the pace. You know what I mean? Nobody's letting it get away from them. So we're paying more for everything. Speaking of hunting and fishing stuff, Missouri hunters bagged 8% more turkeys during the spring season than in years past. Actually, the most since 2006. It's going back quite a ways, almost 20 years. Hunters took almost 47,000 turkeys statewide this season. The top harvest continues to be Franklin, Callaway, and then Texas County coming in third. That's the one from our area.
Yeah. By the way, when you said that 2006 was almost 20 years ago, I thought you were wrong.
Yeah.
But you're not.
I'm not. It's
that's so weird.
I still think like 20 years ago is like the 80s. It's
oh my
insane.
Goodness. That's really weird.
And it only gets worse. It only gets worse.
Yikes.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see this? Red's Giant Hamburg. We told you about the auction coming up. Well, the auction happened. It was an iconic restaurant many years ago along Route 66, as you know, credited with being America's first drive-through. It was created right there. Well, the new Reds, after the one on 66 shut down many years ago, the new Reds reopened in 2019 in a new building, but it was not on Route 66. So I think it missed it there. Apparently hasn't done well since then. So the owners put it up for auction. I can tell you that it sold for almost $600,000, $575,000 at auction. The sign sold separately, the Hamburg sign, because the hamburger wouldn't fit, so he had to cut off
Yeah, that's funny. That is so crazy.
The sign sold separately, and so did that car that was out front under the sign. So the building and the contents went for $575,000. The name, though, Reds, is under copyright, which is a completely different purchase. So if the new owner wants to utilize the name, they'll have to buy the rights to the name. So no word yet on what the new investor plans to do with that restaurant that's sitting there on Sunshine near Kansas Expressway, but we'll see.
Yes, if they take our advice, they'll at least move it back to Route 66.
Well, I mean, that person isn't going to do that because he bought the building on Sunshine. So somebody else is going to have to buy the rights unless that person wants to reopen it as Reds there. I don't know.
All right. We'll see. The Missouri legislative session wrapped up at the end of last week, and one bill headed to the governor's desk is a law that would ban what is called hair-based discrimination. A Democratic senator from Kansas City said this is a priority for her to see this thing passed. It is called the Missouri Creating an Open World for Natural Hair Act, also known as the Crown Act, and it has passed so far. It goes to the governor's desk. It is to ensure African Americans are treated fairly, she says, the author of the bill, and encouraged to embrace their heritage regardless of their natural hair or what she calls protective hairstyles. The bill, if signed, will also strengthen college hazing laws to keep students safe.
This weekend, you may have heard the news, not great news. Former President Joe Biden announced that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has already spread to his bones. Not good news at all. Former President Biden and his family are now figuring out next steps and treatment. For his part, the current president, Trump, went to Truth Social, made a post saying, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery." A lot of political figures speaking out on that sad news.
Yep. A big honor this weekend in Lawrence County for Corporal Derek Perkins. He was honored for going into a burning home, and inside that home was a woman who was sleeping. He was able to get to her, wake her up. Both of them got out safely, and he was awarded this weekend for his bravery.
As
Wow.
he should be. Yeah,
Yes.
that's good
Yikes.
stuff right there. That's
Whew.
what it's about for a firefighter, right? Is he?
Yeah, but he's a corporal. I mean,
he's a corporal, so he's a sheriff's deputy.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
With Lawrence County, there was a car on fire. The car was parked close to a house that engulfed it in flames, drove by, and then went in. So it's incredible. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well
it's
done.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Costco is teaming up with Affirm, 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 to allow shoppers to buy now and pay later if they want to. So if you're buying a big ticket item at Costco, what qualifies is anything $500 or more, you can set up monthly payment options for different lengths of time using Affirm. You can have different installments to pay it off, whatever you want to do, work it out with them. It's for online purchases only right now, but now you can use Affirm at Costco.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. I see Affirm a lot of places that I wouldn't honestly expect it. But they've got their own deal going. So, and it's good for folks sometimes. If it works out, do it.
Yeah, I see it too. Like I always get like a code on my cell phone, like use Affirm. I'm like, I don't want to use Affirm. It's interesting how that it just like pops up without you even like applying or signing in or whatever it would be for it, So.
Yeah. As an option. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Happy Monday. And thoughts and prayers for the St. Louis area, Kentucky area. And stay tuned for Abby Dyer because we'll see what is on tap for the rest of this week.
Yep. And have yourself a fantastic Monday, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday.